Hello and welcome to Focus on Liberia. This is Primetime Sunday, as always, with Dennis Jai, co-hosting with my partner Dennis Jai is Anson here. Welcome and welcome to the broadcast. Today is a very special Sunday. You can see we have two outstanding Liberians intellectually prepared to go into the topic for the day. The case for and against Senator Darius Dillon. Well, to go into this topic, we have a few segments. Segment number one, the senatorial candidate Abraham Darius Dillon, the guy who has cited many Liberians who pay attention to politics. He became a senator, and so we will be looking at his legislative action, decision, justification, and Abraham Doda's take on all the issues around there. Finally, also, Senator Dillon versus Doda on campaign money. He made a promise that he will issue a report on money raised for his campaign. That has not happened, and everything belong. We will discuss that. Dennis Jai is here. Dennis, I'm all set. Let's get started.
We want to welcome all viewers from across the globe. This is Focus on Liberia Primetime Sunday. My name is Dennis Jai, of course, and we're broadcasting from Atlanta, Georgia. I want to welcome Mr. Abraham Dode, who's joining us on this night for the case for and against Darius Dillon. Mr. Dode have taken to the airwaves, making some claims and expressing his distaste, his disappointment, and sometimes disgust of this senator. He's here tonight. He's going to be making the case. Mr. Dode, welcome to Focus on Liberia.
Thank you, comrade. Thank you. It's an opportunity to be here to interact with our people across the globe and to be able to set some records straight and to hold the senator accountable for the person he presented himself to have been and is not. So I'm here to provide to Liberian people and to our listening audience the fraud that is in Senator Dillon.
Thank you so much. I want to welcome Mr. Michael Doe Tipperson, a brother from Doe community. Mr. Tipperson is a supporter of Dillon, and he is going to be providing the counter narratives as Mr. Dode makes his case. Mr. Tipperson, welcome to Focus on Liberia.
Well, Jai, it's a pleasure joining you. I just like to say I'm super excited to be on this platform, and I think you guys at Focus on Liberia are doing a pretty good job. I can recall sometime back in 2018 when I first made my debut on this platform, but now we have a whole new big show, and I just want to say thank you for the work you do. Purposely, I would say it's not about defending Dillon for me. I've just come to provide what I know the senator is doing that is in the best interest of the country, because I'm not one person who defends wrong. And I think Dillon is doing exceptionally well and is only honest enough to give a public official their flower while they are alive, because we need the best for Liberia and we need a prosperous Liberia. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tipperson. Again, we want to welcome our viewers from across the globe and even those who are going to watch later. Here at Focus on Liberia, we educate, we elevate, and promote all things Liberia. So as you have heard already, Mr. Abraham Dode, I will give you the chance to have your opening, because what we do know is you supported Mr. Darius Dillon, and of late you've been singing what I call a different song. What's the story?
Dennis and so, and I want those who are on this platform, Liberians, and those who are listening to this program, to understand that for me, I don't hate any politician. I don't hate Senator Dillon, right? But for some of us, we support politicians in Liberia because we want the best for the country. I always said that Liberians do not need saints. They're not looking for saints. They're not looking for angels. Liberians are looking for honest Liberians who can do their utmost best in the interest of the country and in the interest of our people, right? So when Senator Dillon called couple of months ago when he called me. Hey, I want to contest the senatorial seat, and I need your support and everything else. I decided to give him my support. In fact, we had a conversation, and I said, "Listen, I'm willing to support to do the best I can to do for you to get elected. There are some things that I did. Even though I told him in passing, I told the chief, I told Martin Kula and so forth. But when we decided to join the process, I did it because Senator Dillon presented himself as one who was prepared for prime time and prepared to change, to be the one to change the country, and to be the one to be one of those persons to set the platform and set the basis to change the country. As you all know, all of us are yearning for change in the country, especially those of us in the diaspora want the country to be changed, because things in the country continue to be the same as it has always been. So when he said he wanted to be different and he wanted to bring something, he said to me, "Ab, we cannot, keep doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. And somebody must rise to the occasion to take the bull by the horn." And I felt he was genuine. And I felt he was honest about the change in the country. So he campaigned, activity, the messaging, everything else, were pilot towards a transformation, a transformatory Liberia, that there was one man who was about to engage in the process of change in the country. And so it behooves some of us to say, well, you know what? We're going to support him. So some of us did not just support Dillon. I did not just support Dillon, but I went above and beyond to talk to people who have not, someone who have not been in Liberia for 20 some years. I'm president, former president of the Liberian Association here in the Tennessee Valley. And I had to convince a lot of Liberians to support the Senator Dillon. We put our neck on the line for that. But all of Senator Dillon's messages that he put out there in terms of change did not, up to today's date, I'm overly disappointed. And I was sat few instances. I was sat, if the time is permitted, I sat a lot of different instances. When Senator Dillon took the office of the Senate, I first told him we have to do things differently. He said, Nise, we'll do things differently. I said, okay. Immediately after the elections, because there were people who have not been, like I said, have not been in Liberia for 20 some years, but they made their contribution. I carried them to the chat room. I carried them to make contributions to the process, the campaign process. And so many people have not been in Liberia. I'll give you a particular instance. There's a lady in my state here who have not been in Liberia for 20 some years. Her two sons are subway engineers, and they work on the arsenal that's the big base for the U.S. base in Alabama, right? And these people make contribution. I also told Senator Dillon, the two sons were prepared to be a virtual library for Dillon. I talked to Senator Dillon that they should have flown him over here. Senator Dillon said had a conversation prior before the COVID. But when Senator Dillon took office, I texted him in his inbox and I said, Senator, we need a report for the campaign. I texted him, I texted Martin, I texted Imaya Yato. And I told him, listen, people who brought to the process want a report and myself need a report. Senator Dillon he read the message because I always make sure I send him a message on Messenger so that he can read, so that when he reads it, I know he reads it, he read it. So he didn't respond until time went on. He didn't respond. After the election, somebody was jubilating. Okay, fine. Later on, Senator Dillon said, the report is
Dennis, you are on mute.
Mr. Dillon, not to interrupt, just be brief or summarize your position now. So
right, okay.
We'll go into a bit by bit.
I know I just wanted to give you a play-to-play by the screens, but saying you wanted to summarize it, I will summarize it. So, Senator Dillon, you can't be the light in darkness when you do a campaign and then when people are asking for a report and you don't want to give a report. Besides that, the 2014 revised electoral law 7.5 to 7.10 provides that every candidate must make available their campaign financial report so that it can be published on the National Elections Commission website. If nobody else did it in the country, Senator Dillon, as the light of the Senate, quote unquote light of the Senate, would have been the one to do that report, besides giving report to his supporters. But up to this day, that report has never been made available. Dillon is to make that report available. So you can't be the light of the Senate. When it came to the car, when Senator Dillon took office, I told issue Senator Dillon. Senator Dillon, I'm taking the car. Senator, I called him. Senator Dillon, why are you taking it? Why are you taking the car? He said, AB, I need a car. I said, Senator, you don't need a car. If you need your car, come back to us in the diaspora. We'll provide you a car. We'll buy you a car because we supported you, right? We supported you because every month I was taking it from I was paying my campaign contribution from my account directly. I can go to my account and get the total amount I paid, right? But it's just fair enough for the senator to be able to give us quote unquote a light to be able to get a campaign finance report to the public. As a light, you're doing things differently. That's what makes it a light, right? And I require by law, right? So that's my fundamental issue, and a lot of other different issues as we go along the program. There's a lot of other different issues, in instances that we cite for our listening audience. What made Dillon is a fraud in the Senate and has not lived up to his promises when he got to the Senate.
And Mr. Dode, I know you just concluded your opening statement, but I want you to touch on this. In one of your posts, you refer to the senator as a common criminal, as a rogue. Do you stand by those statements as part of your opening statement in this discussion?
Absolutely, yes. And here's the reason why. When the campaign was in full gear, Senator Dillon told some of us and told Liberians that they didn't have money to run the campaign. So the campaign team went about and decided to have a dollar rally in Liberia. The campaign team did not even stop there. When I gave my $250, beside my monthly contribution, I gave months in advance. I gave when Imayato decided to say, well, everybody should give $250 for a polling station because they wanted to man the votes. They didn't want for the CDC to steal the vote. So I gave $250 as my contribution to just for a polling center, for just for individual. And everybody paid. When we pay that money, guess what? Imayato came back to us and said, gentlemen, the money is not enough. The people stay over there. We don't want to put a steal the vote. Just stay. We don't have money. If the campaign team, led by Imayato and the campaign manager, Martin Kula, they didn't know about money that Dillon was getting, and Dillon pretended as though he didn't have a dime, and then he had to go, and we had to go squeezing in our accounts to take money to support this process. When he was going about taking $20,000, $15,000 from all of these people, from Ellen, from Albert, from Senator Snow,
Mr. Dode, may I interrupt you? We'll get into the details of that. I just wanted you to confirm why you wrote on your page that he is a common criminal and a rogue, and you said yes. We'll get into those specifics that brought you. Yeah, we'll get into those specifics that brought you to that conclusion.
Okay.
Dennis?
Yeah, let's go to Michael Tipperson. You listen to Ibrahim Dode calling Senator Dillon a common criminal, a rogue, and all the 9 yards. What says thou?
Well, I just want to say thank you again, and to all of our followers. I think I was able to use 2 minutes to critically assess where Brother Dode's anger hails from. And I would safely say it's a matter of vainglory and self-gratification. And if that is what he's seeking, of which he will brand, or he's branding the senator as a common criminal, I think that's the most unfortunate and disingenuous word anybody can use on a Liberian senator who's fighting for the people. I will preface my conversation by saying, and I will take this quote from Julius Nyerere. He said, the only way a leader can be considered as a people-centered leader is when that leader has reasons to fear the judgment of his people. The question is, does Dillon, Senator Dillon, exercise any remorse that shows that he has reasons to fear what the Liberian people will do or will think whenever he takes any action? The answer is a resounding yes. When Dillon was campaigning, Dillon rallied the Liberian people around a particular cause. And probably people like Dode did not critically sit to analyze what cause Dillon was contesting on. Dillon campaign met and resonated with the Liberian people because we all wanted to know for over 172 years what has been happening in the Liberian Senate and to bring the Senate to the people. Has Dillon defaulted on that promise? The answer is no. Has Dillon had some mistakes? The answer is yes. Those mistakes Dillon have had over the period, can it amount to somebody who have failed in office? The answer is no, and I will tell you why. When Dillon campaigned, he told us, and including Dode, that he wanted to go to the Senate to make the Liberian people aware of what's going on and to make the Liberian system through the Liberian Senate works for everyone. That was his promise. Outside of his promise, we are all aware that there are three cardinal constitutional responsibilities of a lawmaker: lawmaking, oversight, and constituency representation. I would say by extension, there are four, because I term what we call social obligation to your constituents as another form of responsibility that lawmakers in Liberia are confronted with. When you do a juxtaposition of Dillon's activities, can somebody tell me that Dillon is not adequately representing the people of Monserrato at the legislature on a constituency representation? Then bring the argument, because he doesn't just go to session, he takes issue affecting Monserrato County and the Liberian people to the legislature to elaborate, convincing his colleagues that there's a need for reform at the Senate. Was that one of Dillon's campaign promise? Yes. Is he implementing that promise? Yes. Oversight responsibility. Can Brother Dode tell us, outside of his personal issue, vendetta with Dillon, why Dillon did not call him or respond to his message? Can he tell us that oversight responsibility is not being exercised by Dillon to the fullest at the Senate? And can we agree with an argument? No. Why we can't agree? Then I will tell you, who over the last 30 years, which Liberian lawmaker has championed the issue of mental health in the country that have resulted to Liberians who have had trauma from 14 years of war, being in the street, being called Zogo? And we here in the United States, and I expect Mr. Dode, instead of personalizing things with Dillon, should be commending Dillon, because I will place it in the Liberian way. We don't find crazy people in the street. Here we got group homes, right? When people are mentally retarded, they are placed in a particular area to be well taken care of. Is Senator Dillon making effort towards that in Liberia? Yes. Is it a systemic reform? Yes, it's a systemic reform. And how has it been happening? Dillon has been advocating for budgetary increment to the Ministry of Health and Social Welfare so that that particular problem can be resolved. Is
Mr.
that
Tibeson?
Yes, all the time.
Mr. Tibeson, you will conclude. I just want to throw this in there so you can conclude with your opening statement. Can you tell us what was Dillon's core message and promises made to the Liberian people at the time he was campaigning?
Okay, that's what I said. Dillon rallied the Liberian people's support on a simple mantra that resonated. And that was bringing the Liberian Senate to the ordinary people, to the Liberian people, bringing what happened at the Senate, trying to make the system work for everyone. That was the core message of Dillon's campaign. Mr. Dode, who claimed to have supported the campaign financially and morally, probably did not grab that message. And so as a result, now
did Dillon campaign on accountability and transparency? Did he campaign against legislative wasteful spending? Did he?
Yes, he did.
All right.
Yes,
so please, please conclude on a serious
So,
point that he made on the report. That was one of the points that he raised in his opening.
about the report, I don't know how often Mr. Dode follows Senator Dillon since the election ended. But I'm aware, because I've been following, that there have been several calls for report and there have been explanation about the campaign activities. And I will give you this example. The US just ended our elections. Personally, I was one of those who subscribed during the elections to President Trump. And there was several solicitations of financial support of emails sent to everyone. Is Mr. Dode saying after the campaign, individuals should receive copy of the report? I did not receive copy of Trump financial report, even though it was published. Have you done a due diligence to see if Mr. Dillon office or the campaign team published the report? If he has not, the answer is he needs to go and check.
Did he publish the report? Did Senator Dillon campaign publish any financial report?
You didn't follow the
I'm asking you a question, Mr. Tepesi.
You didn't follow?
Mr. Tepesi, I'm asking a question. Did Dillon team submit any financial report since the campaign ended?
Sorry, are you muted? I didn't get you.
I'm asking you whether Senator Dillon's campaign team has submitted any financial report of the campaign that they ran.
Oh, Anthony, I will say this to you.
Anthony.
Say that?
Anthony.
Yeah, Anthony, I will say this to you, right? I'm going to, as the show continues, I'm going to present to you in your inbox a document that you can read explaining and verifying details.
Is that a report?
What is a report? I said I'm going to send to you a document. Is a document not a report? Because Anthony did not say there was no document issue. He said why he didn't receive a copy. He didn't question if a document was published.
Hey,
that's what I said.
All right, I think we have to leave it there. I think Dode was clear. He said there has not been any report on the finances collected during the campaign. There has not been any full disclosure on the campaign activity whatsoever. So if you have it, send it to us right now. We'll display it on the screen. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
So can I come in?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
So it seemed as though my brother was listening, but he was paying attention, but he was not listening. I think he had some fundamental problem with that. I'm sorry to say, but apparently he was just probably maybe he was not attentive to what I was saying. First and foremost, I want to ask you a question. He said, I was being Gloria and a personal issue with Dillon. I want you to state the personal reason that I have, or how am I being vainglorious about my concerns that I have? How is that being vainglorious? I don't connect the two dots. So I just want you to kind of clarify that before I can come on my points. If that's okay.
I understand that you need more clarity because you just didn't grab the essence of coming on the show to
No. You why so, no ask you
hold on, Mr. Dode. You asking a question. Let you answer the question.
Yeah, I asked you a question. That's why I want you to address the question because you say
let him answer.
Address the question. Why you think? What is it? Because I don't understand your.
Okay, I will be simplistic. Whenever someone tells you that you're trying to exercise a vainglory theory, it means that you're trying to lift up whatever you have done. And you want to be pointed out for recognition and for glorification, self-glorification. So when I listen to your explanation,
okay,
give me some time. You asked a question. Okay. I listened to your explanation, and the public did. You mentioned how you wrote Dillon the text. You needed a copy of the report. Everything you mentioned how you contributed, I think 200 plus. You need a report. Yes, we appreciate that, and we still do appreciate whatever you contributed towards the campaign. But once it wasn't sent to you personally, that doesn't mean that it did not happen.
So, Mr. Tippison, may I jump in here? Earlier, hold on, gentlemen. Mr. Tippison, earlier you mentioned you supported Donald Trump, and there was email going around. You have now personally asked for a report of a campaign that you supported talking about Trump. So Doda should not ask for any report. Don't you think it is Doda's right to ask for a financial report and you call that vainglorious?
That is not my argument. It is his right to ask for a report.
Then what is vainglorious about it?
When the discussion and the contribution of the candidate or the person elected becomes more personal, if you want to take it more personal, then it's being vainglorious.
So what is personal about it? Asking for the report?
No, that is not the point. He mentioned how there's been disconnect with communication. I want you to follow the pattern of his explanation and link it to where his disappointment is. The pattern of the discussion is that he has been finding difficulties in having that connection with Senator Dillon. So as a result, he has come out to say he's disappointed. No, and that should not be the case.
Hold on, guys. Mr. Tippison, I didn't hear that. What he said was there has been no financial report. So if there's a report, but you shy of calling it a report, you say a document. Yeah. And you try to pass the words there about document and report. But let's be clear on this. Are you aware of a financial report about Dillon's campaign that has been published or that has been sent out, Mr. Tippison?
I am aware that I read a document, which I'm searching right now, that detail the activities of the campaign.
Okay.
And if for any
Mr. Tippison, any other person you know of who is aware of this document you're talking about, besides you?
I think I have no space to sit and say,
So, you know the author of that document you're talking about that you're trying to, suggest that was the financial report? Do you know the author of that report?
Say that again.
Do you know the author and source of that document you're referring to as having something to do with the finances of Dillon's campaign?
Well, it was on Facebook that I read it.
Facebook?
Excuse me to say this. And I'm being honest with you. I read it on Facebook.
And I appreciate your honesty, but I'm just asking a financial report of a senator who ran on transparency and accountability and quote unquote the light. Yeah. And the financial report, you read it on Facebook. A serious supporter would take a Facebook post.
Mr. CA,
yes,
it's a complete disservice if you label Facebook as being unofficial. And I will tell you why. The great United States of America president is every day posting his activities on Facebook as a means of reaching out. What I didn't do, and I told you I'm going to be honest because at some point in time, I've been raising issues. I'm not going to sit there and defend what I don't know about. I read a
You just don't. You just did.
No,
you just don't.
No,
you just did.
You have to give me the time. If you want to label Facebook as being unofficial and should not be used as a means of communication, then I think we are not living in the world of globalization and technology. We are in the world of technology. Facebook is a means of communication. And I will say to you, I read a document on Facebook. What I can issue right now is the author of that document. And I'm still searching. That's why you see I'm flipping between the show and my phone to be able to produce the document because I have to go as far back when I read the document. But I know where I saw the document.
Thank you.
I saw the document in a Facebook.
Thank you.
Let me just say for the record. I love my brother Tippison, but he's been disingenuous to himself and to the public. It's a bad thing to come on the show and you say I'm going to be honest and transparent, and then a few minutes into the show you're being disingenuous and you're being not transparent. It speaks volume to you as a person, and it speaks volume to the character you're defending. And I just want to make that clear. Second is that I think his misuse of the word throwing being vainglorious, doesn't connect with the issues at hand. In my opening statement, I made it very clear, and I started a law. I started the 2014 September 10th. September the revised elections law 7.5 down to 7.7 to 7.10 states that every candidate should make available their financial report to be published. I contacted the Elections Commission. Go on their website. Dillon report is not there. He's talking about Facebook. I was friends with Dillon way before he unfriended me just a week or two ago. The report, whatever he's talking about, it does not even exist. Even if it existed, he come here on the show. He knew that he would come to defend Dillon. He would have sent a copy to you. He would have made a copy available. He's sitting there telling us, he's flipping through his phone to go back to as far as wherever he thinks he wants to go to give us a synopsis of whatever he saw as a document, not a report.
Thank you.
We gotta be serious here. We gotta be serious here. We're talking about the future of our country. We're talking about people who the man who campaign on transparency, accountability, and good governance, and say he wants to lie. He wants to lie, right? And that thing, a law that exists. This man lambasted everybody that we have to respect the law. Even George Weah was violating the law. There's a law that exists at the Elections Commission. If there's nobody honors that law, Dillon would have been the very first man to honor that law. I'm asking Topperson, is that report on the Elections Commission website? Let me answer to that. Because that's where you start from. You don't come here and tell us that we got to be serious here. You don't come here and tell us that, oh, you saw a document on Facebook page, and so forth. Joe Biden, that Dillon compared himself with, as a lie. He report immediately after the elections. A report was made public to those independent, Republican, Americans, Democrat, and everybody, even the entire world could see Joe Biden's report. Even the Trump he mentioned, he talks about. Trump report is on the website. What are you talking about here? We got to be serious.
Thank you, Mr. Dillon.
Public money. He did not make a report. I'm asking for a report and he's telling me that being vainglorious. Where does that come from? We got to be serious here and don't be throwing words around and talking about being vainglorious about a serious issue that we're talking about.
Thank you, Mr. Dillon. Let me ask you, so we got the issue of the report.
Can I come
What
in?
other issues do you have with Senator Dillon
Can I
that
come
you're
in?
disappointed about?
Listen.
Well, I have to respond to his
you can respond when the time comes after Dillon goes to the next issue.
Listen,
I don't want us to dwell on the report.
Is Dillon's inability, the other thing he campaigned on. Do you know that Dillon's took everything, all the things he campaigned on, accountability, transparency, good governance, all the things he campaigned on, and all of his campaign message, he took everything off his Facebook page. Why did he do that? If he didn't have a sinister motive for why did he do that? So on the issue, we can discuss all of the issue one at a time: accountability, transparency, and good governance. Because those were the issues. And as a light, as one who said he was a light, quote unquote, light of the Senate, he was going to spotlight the shine the light in wherever the darkness was. He was going to shine the light. Does that light being shone today? Absolutely not. He's a fraud. And I will tell you what is a fraud. And like I said to you previously, you cannot be campaigning telling people say you don't have money. You don't have money to run a campaign for which they had to organize a dollar rally for you. But people are giving penalties still us on Spoon TV that he get Dillon $20,000 with gas slips. He didn't any snow when he called the show. He gave Dillon considerable amount, and we know why when the money he gave Dillon almost $15,000. We know that $15,000 he gave Dillon with gas slips. Manasali gave him $20,000. We know that. We know that. Then Abachi gave him $15,000. They were, in fact, since I started the campaign, since I started the campaign, people have been calling me from around the US and other places. My brother and my son, we know someone gave with 10 Dillon personally $2,000 by cash by this, saying $2,000, we're saying $500, we're saying $200, all kinds of people calling. Because you know what? And all this is not happening. He did not tell the campaign manager, he did not tell the campaign, Emmanuel Yato. All of these people who were making sacrificial effort to make sure the campaign was a success.
So, Mr. Dode, is there any
fraud?
Mr. Dode, is there any proof? Is there any evidence that he received those monies?
But listen, I mean, Benedict on Spoon TV, he said he can get $20,000. We know that. I'm not going to quote him. I'm not going to tell you. Listen, Sonny, I'm not going to give you my sources of people who told me about the Manaseli issue and Manaseli.
I have to bring myself in because
Let me go.
Guest speaker of the program.
I will ask a question. Let me answer the question.
Because I want you to. How can we verify those allegations that you're talking about? How can we verify that Dillon actually received the money you are mentioning?
Dennis, Dillon actually received this money. The $20,000 from Bidete, I said you tell him that Bidete is lying. What you call it? Elder Snow, $15,000. I said you tell him that Elder Snow gave considerable amount, but you're not going to say on the show. But we know how much he gave. I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to say and tell you my source that the person told me that Manasseh gave $20,000. I'm not going to tell you that. I told Anthony. Yeah, some of us what we said. Some of us we said we get information periodically every day. And that's why I told you, say on your show, I will break the news on your show that will come out from Africa later on. I will break the news on your show. We get information every single day. But I'm not going to tell you my source. I say, oh, man, the person gave
What's going on?
Listen, this is the thing. This is the thing. This is the thing. Yeah.
Mr. Dillon.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. I want Michael to come in and actually respond to what you've just said, especially concerning the various amounts that he allegedly received.
Yeah.
You know, my brother Doda was repetitive in nothingness, and because when you come to the discourse and you come with these allegations and you don't have facts to substantiate, he made reference of accountability and report that Dillon should publish. He said Musa Belete gave 20,000. Anybody can make accusation, right? Oh. Do you have any proof to prove that Musa Belete actually contributed 20,000? The answer is no. Please give me time. Please give me time.
All right, go ahead.
So we're still trying to dig into your personal issue with Dillon. You mentioned about Eddie Snow contributing 15,000. And even to Musa Belete by extension, if Musa Belete contributed that amount according to him, does he have any proof to show that yes, indeed, he contributed? Are we saying allegations now, mere allegations, are facts in the court of public opinion without proof? I would cite this. When Senator Dillon came to the U.S. to rally Liberian support for the rehabilitation process to help the struggling people in the country, I contributed 1,000 United States dollars. I got a receipt for my contribution. You can see, right? So I can simply say, well, this is my receipt that I contributed towards Senator Dillon's process. All these allegations, I gave Dillon this, I gave Tim Dillon that. There is no proof. Can you imagine? I'm heading somewhere. Okay. When a friend of mine told me a few weeks ago that somebody told them that they contributed $6,000 when I was running as senator of Mosurado County. And that person who said they contributed $6,000 was somebody who did not even support me, did not call me. But because he was in a meeting and he wanted to make big show, he said, I gave Tippison $6,000. Until this brother, Mr. Dode, can come with the facts, whether from Edwin Snow, Robert Salif, Musa Belete, or whoever it is, can come with a fact that Dillon received said amount. That is just another emptiness. Another thing about accountability that I want to mention, it's obvious that whenever people are into political contestation during campaigns, they solicit support from ordinary people, people from all walks of life. So it was no wrong. And even because the campaign message resonated with the people, they decided to contribute. For Doda to allege that Dillon took down every campaign message on a Facebook page, that's the reason why I said we need to investigate this guy. Where is his anger really coming from? I hope he wasn't adding a job and he didn't get it. I am saying I hope, because what I know,
Mr. Tippison.
Look, I'm coming. Please allow me to lay on a point. Dillon still up to date. Post from even 2017 on Dillon War. If you go and check there, they are still there. Dillon campaign on the basis of declaring his asset on accountability and transparency. And Dillon did. What people are, we are not yet figuring out that nobody should call Dillon to order. No, that is not the point. Let us all be able to account for what we say, what we do, and measure our accountability holistically and not to narrow it to an individual. So if
Mr.
Dillon is not accountable,
Mr. Tippison.
Mr. Tippison, so do you now appreciate the importance of a financial report? Because, or let me put it this way, the document that you read, Doda is alleging that there were money received from all these different sources. In the document you read, did you see anything about where the money came from that was used in the Dillon's campaign?
Well, with that particular aspect, the document that I read, like I said, it was a very long time. I tried to trace it. I couldn't get it. So I'm not going to base my argument around it because I couldn't lay my hands on it. So for now, in line with my own standing and repetition, I would say I read a document, but I cannot find it to look into it and see where are the different sources. But if the argument is about financial report, and he claiming that because Dillon professes to be the light, so Dillon should be the only person giving financial report, then it's a complete disservice. Because there have been campaign upon campaign, presidential campaign, senatorial campaign, representative campaign. Why are we not calling everyone to book? And it leads me to this point. What we are fighting,
and we'll come to that about the other candidates. But what I'm saying is, if there were a report, we don't go back because you're saying Doda should prove that Ellen Johnson Sirleaf gave Dillon
20,000.
Right. And then Musa Belete and Snow. So don't you think it is Dillon who's supposed to prove where he got money from? Or who's supposed to show where he got money from if he's denying those allegations?
Everyone knows where Dillon financial campaign support came from. It came from
Mr. Tippison, are you sure everyone knows?
Why not? It was never done in secret. It was never done in secret. And there where we should try to shame.
So where is the report to show that it's not in secret?
Okay, we will ask Dillon to publish the report.
Why is it taking this long, Mr. Tippison?
We will ask him to publish a report.
So, Mr. Tippison, let me ask you this question. You are saying, and you make a good point here, that all the allegations, I don't know, we can call it allegation, or what Doda is saying, Musa Belete is saying he gave 20,000. According to Doda, Edwin Snow gives around 15,000. Abbott G 10,000 plus Gasly, Ellen 20,000. These are grave allegations that Dillon can come live and say, no, I didn't receive any of this thing. The case with Abbott G been lingering around. Dillon has not spoken on it.
You know why?
Don't you think these things are true? That's why Dillon is silent on them?
No. You know what I would say?
Is that how Dillon behaved, that when people lie on him, he doesn't come to say that this person is lying?
You know what I would say towards that? There are certain things that are just time wasting.
That somebody lie on you that you received 20,000 from this person. It's time wasting. And you are here, you're not wasting your time telling us that somebody lied on you some time ago that they gave you $6,000. You care to talk about it, and it's not time wasting, right?
You know why? You know why? I will tell you this much, right? If Senator Dillon represents the commercial, let me place it this way, the commercial and political capital of the country, Moserado County, the capital is in Moserado. He has a lot of stuff to do. If Doda wakes up one morning because he's frustrated probably about going to work that day and say Mr. Dillon received 20,000, I don't think that is something of a national concern that the senator should go respond to.
So if you were advising Senator Dillon, that's why you were telling that anytime somebody accuses you of anything, say nothing, be quiet.
No.
And you think that would be a good advice?
No, I won't do that. I will not tell Senator Dillon not to respond when I know that there are issues that border on national policy decision-making process with accusations. I will tell Senator Dillon.
This borders on transparency. He ran on transparency and accountability. Money coming from the dark, politically speaking. There has not been a report.
Accusation. It's a useless political accusation. It's a useless political accusation.
Thank you, Mr. Dillon.
He says that Edwin Snow gave Dillon 15,000. Ellen Johnson gave Dillon money. Okay, I can start calling names. In case I say Mel June gave Dillon money, where is the proof? Where's the proof? Where's the fact?
Thank you. That's why I said these things could be clarified from a financial report. But Mr. Dode, let me go to you. Mr. Dode, a question for you.
Listen,
Mr. Dode,
yes, sir.
Let me ask a question and you can come in. You can spin it any kind of way. But my question is, you're part of the Dillon campaign team or whatever organization you were operating in. Did you bring this up in a meeting, or you are just having this personal back and forth with Dillon to make the report? Is this something that you brought to the leadership so that they can investigate, or is it just between you?
No. First and foremost, I didn't want to be part of the campaign team. When Dillon reached out to me personally, I decided to contribute. So if you are in part of the campaign team, I would appreciate it. He didn't make me part of the campaign team. People make BT out of it on Facebook. I didn't bother. I wanted to win. So whatever I needed to do, I just wanted to do it. So being on campaign team, not being on campaign team, it didn't matter to me. But
so you were not part of any organization supporting
I was part of the. They added me to the Friends of Dillon's chat room. The group that I was
contributing. Did you bring this up in the Friends of Dillon to be discussed on a leadership level?
I certainly did. And I also besides that, if you call Imaya Yato, he will tell you. You call Martin Kula, he's going to tell you. If you call Dillon, he's going to tell you. I texted Dillon. There's a message between Dillon and myself. I texted immediately after the campaign. I said, Senator Dillon, you did lie. You want to do things differently. Please make the report available. Because you know what? There was a little when Musa Belete appeared on Judas J or show, right? And he said, I sponsored Dillon campaign. There were people who took issue with me, who I was banking on that door to support Dillon. They took issue and said, well, hold on 1 second. This man said he didn't have money and we supported him. And then Belete is saying that he sponsored the main campaign, he gave the main campaign.
Dennis,
hold on.
Let me finish.
No,
it became an issue where it became an integrity issue, right? So people started having issue with me. So I said, okay. I immediately after that show, I texted Dillon. I said, Senator Dillon, you see what I'm talking about? Belete is accusing you of sponsoring your campaign. And this issue is going back and forth. People who contributed to the campaign make a report so that they can have a report in their possession. You don't have to mention anybody's name. You can put even a report this anonymous, whatever nomenclature from the accounting perspective can give the name. It just registered in the report. It's captured in the report. And I said, I don't know. When I called him, we talk about it. I called him.
Mr. Dennis.
But give me chance.
Mr. Dennis.
So it became a situation where you were talking. I didn't talk. Give me chance to
at least 30 seconds conclude.
Yeah. So it became an issue where I became talking. It was long before Dillon. Long before I told Dillon this issue of the report, and I cited the law from the Elections Commission. Yeah. That is what Thompson is not even getting. I don't understand where he's coming from. I mean, I thought I can have a serious conversation here about transparency, accountability, and good governance. But now he's all around the place talking about I got personal issue with Dillon. Listen, Dillon have not given me a dime before. I work for my money. I work for my money and get Dillon my money. I don't have any personal issue with Dillon. It's an issue of accountability, transparency, and good governance that he can be on. I'm holding accountable to. And should be able to present a report. That's what I'm saying.
Thank you. Thank you. The only issue I have is you've been addressing it directly to Dillon instead of the group. But go ahead, Michael.
No, like I said, I've already done it in the group.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, go ahead.
In the group.
You see, I thought we were having a civilized conversation to make progress. I didn't know that I was coming to the discussion of accusations without real evidence and facts and real explanation. What? If you talk about accountability, good governance, and transparency, those are key issues that we cherish, we welcome. And Dillon has been, and Dillon is one person who have championed that cause. Dillon declared his asset when he took office as senator, which has not happened. So like I said, you calling on Dillon to make campaign report has never been a bad argument. And we will join you to call Senator Dillon to issue out the report officially. Didn't I mention in my opening remarks that there have been mistakes from Senator Dillon? But those mistakes are infinite testament to the successes of the senator.
No, sir.
And we need to recognize that.
No, sir. No, sir.
You need to recognize. No, you have to give me time. Those mistakes, those fewer mistakes that have come from Dillon as a human cannot surpass what Dillon has done in the Liberian Senate as a senator of Mosurado County. And that's the discussion I want us to have. If the report is of major concern, we shall know voters on integrity. I just told you that we are going to join the campaign to call on Mr. Dillon to make the report official and public, which is going to be now a different case that Doda will accept. If Doda is so angry because he got on framed by his former friend, that's an issue that they can go and talk about.
No,
give me time. When you talk about accountability, transparency, and integrity, Dillon has shown that he's integrous. Dillon has man up to whatever mistake he has made. Dillon has been fighting for a system change. And Liberians across the globe, we need to understand one thing. If we can hold all of our public officials accountable instead of figuring out one person to be the only man who should be morally upright in our country, we are going nowhere. And that's why the point is, people are looking for justification why the system should be bad. And anybody who tries to fight for the system to work for everyone, and whatever you do, your simple misstep will be misconstrued. And that's what's happening here.
Anthony, this is
Hold on, Abraham. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, because let's take a short break. When we come back,
at Focus on Liberia, we discuss everything Liberia, from education to politics, arts and culture, entertainment, agriculture, history, religion, family, and technology. Focus on Liberia uncovers and showcases the best of Liberia and shows the world the truth about Liberia. We educate, elevate, and promote all things Liberia. We conduct interviews, panel discussions, debates, and more. Tune in to Focus on Liberia on Facebook and YouTube and be a part of the stories that make up the news.
This is Focus on Liberia, and I am Dennis Jah.
And I am Anthony here co-hosting with Dennis Jah in this special primetime edition here, Focus on Liberia, where we educate and elevate and promote all things Liberia. Joining us in studio is Michael Doe Tipperson from Doe Community. He has made that community so popular. I think he's using his political lenses to say that all the time. And we have Abraham Doe, who is on Senator Dillon's back. Dillon won his heart with transparency, accountability, good governance, and quote-unquote the light. He's smelling something different other than what Dillon told him, and he's holding him accountable. Many things he's mentioned. Car, Dillon said no to that. He took the car. Money, money, money. Well, we are here, and we will talk it off. Dennis, yeah.
So,
Dennis, I have a short.
Let my thoughts. I was on the 44 went for break, right? So my brother Tipperson is telling me, telling the audience that Senator Dillon criticized Akara Grace and other people for taking $40,000 car, and the economy was in the toilet. The economy was bad, but now he comes to the Senate. The first thing he did was to take the $40,000 car, even though the economy was bad, right? The economy is still bad. He didn't stop there. There's a man who sat right in the Senate and they put $30,000 each in the budget. When we don't have good schools in the country. Our medical institutions are deplorable. They don't even have beds in those institutions. They don't even have medical supplies. Our road condition from Monrovia to Southeast, you can hardly go there. And each senator is taking home $30,000. This man is telling us, the public, Tipperson who defended the law, telling us that these are simple missteps. That is unimaginable. I mean, can you imagine that?
Yeah.
You come on a phone.
Hold on.
You come on the phone and we order the criminality, we order the deception, we order the fraud. You come on this live podcast and you say this issue are simple steps. I can't believe it. But that's the thing.
Let me make you believe it.
That's the thing.
You can't believe it. I want to make you believe it.
Bro, you can't hijack the forum. I'm giving
hold on, Abraham Doe, please conclude and let's be very brief here.
Yeah.
We want to bring in our callers too.
Yeah, but and Dennis, I'm being hijacked, so I can't continue my thoughts. I mean, it's just fair enough. He's talking, I keep quiet. But when I'm talking, he want to hijack. So I mean, we gotta be We got to do due diligence to our audience. They're listening. They want to listen to what we got to say, right? So if he's talking, I'm not talking. When I'm talking, let him listen. It's just as simple as it. That's the rule, right? Okay. So it's unimaginable for him to behave in that to say it's a simple mistake. Those are not simple mistakes. When he took the car, it was on integrity issue. When he took the $30,000, it was on integrity issue, right? When he decided, even up to today's day, Senator Dillon sent December, the $3,000 he say will come from his salary. Where does it go? Does Michael Tepperson know where it goes? Dillon informed the Liberian people that the $3,000 he stopped giving the $3,000. He stopped cutting, right? He stopped the $3,000. Where does it go? If it went somewhere else, did he inform the Liberian people that, oh, I'm not putting the money into the account? Information we're getting is that the district council is disenchanted because he has not made that money available. He said it's going to different things. They don't know where it's going. And so it should have gone to the district council so they can decide instead of using it on the personal affairs or something else.
Mr. Dode,
right.
People watching us now, the question that is coming up in their mind is why
Can I respond?
Hold on, you'll respond. Why Dillon? Because all these things that you are stating, everybody else doing it. That's their counter.
Right.
Why Dillon?
Why Dillon is simple. The answer is simple. Because Dillon said he was a light. Dillon told the Liberian people, the world, global. If Dillon said you're going to be the same, I was not going to support you with my dime or nickel.
But why are you not holding almost other senators accountable?
No, but listen.
I got your point. You said it was the light.
Right.
Why are you not holding other senators accountable because they said they were darkness?
No, of course. I mean, we all of us know, Dennis. All of us here know that the Senate is a rotten environment. We all know that. We all know the guys who have been there before.
Why are you hard on the person? But do you believe that Dillon is trying?
What?
Do you believe Dillon is trying
from the get-go when he started and he announced his
it's just a yes or no.
When he declared an asset, yes. When he declared asset, I thought he was starting on a good 14. But when he took the $40,000 car, then down the line,
no, I'm saying as of today, when you compare Dillon to other senators, do you think he's at least few steps ahead?
No. It's the same. No.
Thank you.
It's the same.
Thank you, Mr. Stapleton.
And the reason,
I got it.
All right.
You know, in January 2018, during the first annual message of President Weah, he mentioned that he was going to reduce his basic his salary by 25%. Up to date, no single Liberian, including Dode, has the moral courage to ask if President Weah have reduced that salary, and if he has reduced that salary, where is it going? Which impact is it making? And which community has been affected positively by the reduction of his salary? This my comrade Sedition has not been able to question that.
Yes, your comrade Sedition.
Do that. No, I don't want you to laugh. I'm going somewhere. I'm trying to respond.
Why you call me Sedition?
Comrade, I know where we come from. Just give me a chance. You have not been able to question that. That's one. Two, if you talk about distribution of money going out, not a single one of these people are on record to ask Representative Akaros Gray, Sir Joseph, and the rest of the 102 lawmakers, whenever they talk about money, what are they doing with theirs and why did they take it? They have not been able to ask. You talk about car, and
people have asked. Many people have asked.
Can you give me a little time to outline what he said? You talk about car. When Senator Dillon took office as senator, there was already a car for that seat that was left by the late Senator Geraldine Doe Sharif. And Senator Dillon needs to go to work. And that car was given to him. Any reasonable person who wants to hold a leader accountable, will you question the leader for accepting a car that was already stationed and waiting for whoever wins the seat Did Senator Dillon purchase a new car? The answer is a resounding no. Was the car set aside for whoever that was going to win? Yes. Did he have all constitutional and moral right to ride a car and go and represent the people? Yes. And he did it, and that was applause. You talk about 30,000. When Dillon took office, Dillon recommended up to date, it's still in committee room, that lawmaker needed to reduce their basic allowance to 5,000 each. There are 103 lawmakers in Liberia. If you say Dillon is a fraud, he's fake. If every one of them had agreed that they should reduce their salary or basic allowance to 5,000, and if they have agreed and continue to do it, is that not a good fake rate for the country? That lawmakers' basic allowance being reduced from up to 15,000 to 5,000, yet you say this man fake. This man took office on led President Weah, who promised you are going to reduce the salary by 25% that nobody is aware of. Everybody can point to where Dillon, you have to give me a chance. There was
don't be intimidated. I ain't bothering you, bro. Go ahead.
You're discussing serious things. You disrupted me, I kept quiet. Senator Dillon set up a committee to be able to supervise, and he said he will give, I think, 5,000 of his salary to Moserado County. That exercise went on, and we can list communities that got impacted with projects from those exercises. About the 30,000. Let me come to this 30,000. Was the 30,000 a criminal amount? The answer is no. Was it legislated? The answer is yes. And like I said from my beginning, if only we can hold every public official elected or appointed accountable for good governance in Liberia, instead of trying to look for justification why the system should remain bad. Dillon said he was the light. Has he defaulted on being the light? The answer is no. Has he made some mistakes? The answer is yes, he has made some mistakes because he's a human being. But let's look at his work as senator of Moserado County.
Mr. Tipperson. Mr. Tipperson.
Say that.
What are some of the mistakes Mr. Dillon made that you want to speak about?
Just where you're going to see my sincerity. And like I told you, I'm honest. And I will pinpoint, even though I told you I've not come to defend Dillon. I've come to speak the truth.
But you're defending, you're not
defending.
Hold on now. Go ahead, Mr. Tipperson. We have callers that we want to bring in. So go ahead and list some of those mistakes.
Dillon. This is one mistake that I felt Dillon had made. From the few, when Dillon upgraded his personal ticket to fly to business class, I think, even though it was never government money, but to have said, no, I did not ride a business class, and later say, yes, I did it, and it was my money, I felt it was a mistake. And Dillon has recognized that, and he has apologized. He made up to it. I think that was a mistake. That's the first thing that I think it was a mistake. And when Dillon took the 15,000, the first portion, Dillon made it clear. Okay, let's take, for example, 103 lawmakers, every one of them receiving a legal money, constitutionally legal, legislated in the budget. You want Dillon to refuse his 15,000 portion that you help the people of Moserado and leave it with Simon Toer? Is that what you're telling me?
No, sorry, that's all the mistakes?
The only biggest mistake I've seen so far that Dillon has made was not being man enough first to admit that he upgraded his flight. Other than that, let's discuss Senator Dillon in general. If he has lived up to the principles and the mantra on which he got elected, I will tell you a resounding yes, he has done it.
Thank you. Mr. CEO, you have another question. We'll go to our caller.
Hold on. I mean, I didn't even...
You have plenty of time.
Hold on, Mr. Today. You say you have some breaking news. I will soon give you a chance to just break that breaking news in short, and then we'll bring in our caller. Mr. Tipperson.
Yeah.
From the start, you said that Senator Dillon is fighting for his people. Tell me how he's fighting for his people other than the literature you've been throwing out here. Tell me specific ways that he's fighting for the people that are, ways that are improving the life of the people and making any difference.
Okay. As a senator, like I said, one of his responsibilities is oversight, right? In June of last year, Senator Dillon did a communication to the legislature, the House of Senate, bringing to their attention, in order to make a system work, that they needed to invite the National Disaster Relief Agency of Liberia, responsible for sea erosion and other stuff, that they needed to call on Fire Service Agency and talk to them and increase their budget so that these things happen. Like here in the States, we see a lot of fire trucks. That was all the way in June of last year. Like I said again, 103 lawmakers, because they have access to facilities, nobody gave ears. Few days ago, we had a fire incident in Moserado County, precisely down Waterside. We had another fire incident in Mangibi County. We had another fire incident in Nimba County. And I think those three fire situations, if Dillon communication was served with purpose, and those lawmakers, if they are sat and say, what this man is talking about
So, Mr. Tippison, that's one. Can you give us another one?
That's one, right?
Yeah.
Another one is the issue of the mental health situation. Are you aware that the fundamental tool that government uses to fund a program is the national budget? If you are aware, it is because of Dillon projecting mental health people being taken care of that today the Ministry of Health budget has been increased up to 30,000, which is still little, and he's still fighting that they come to explain so that they take care of people with mental health.
Thank you.
I can give you two other key scenarios.
I mean, y'all say you're taking the call, and
That's good. Mr. Doda, give your news, and then we go to our callers. We have a lot of callers waiting.
so part of the governance bill and integrity issue, the senator, he was put on a committee to intermediate between the U.S. Embassy and the U.S. Embassy and the Liberian Senate, because of his bad leadership, because of being fraud, and the people know exactly the lie he told on the plane, and all of those issues surrounding his character deficit. The people recommended to the Senate to withdraw from that committee, and Senator Jonathan Bossard specifically were replaced by Senator Dillon just before last Senate session. Last evening were replaced, and Senator Bossard specifically were put on the committee to intermediate between the Liberian Senate and the American Embassy, because they didn't want the senator to serve on that committee, and intermediate between the Senate and the embassy, the U.S. Embassy. So that's the reason why it's going to come up. It's going to be a story. I'm just telling you this, but it's going to come up. It's going to be reported. So just watch out for that. But I'm just telling you as a breaking news to that effect.
Mr. John, can I make a comment to that?
30 seconds. Go ahead.
Thank you. You see, I'm fortunate to have been around the corridors of the Liberian legislature, because I won't work there as special assistant to represent the chambers. And so that's the reason why I'm not just speaking, I'm giving legislative ideas. The way these things work, that Mr. Doda doesn't understand, and he thinks it's a breaking news. The issue of a committee here is squarely in the purview of the head of the Senate. It's not because Dillon has defaulted. That is the reason. No.
Do you know why you're removed?
No. Has it been official?
I asked you. Yes, he has been removed. He was removed.
Is it official?
He was removed. I'm telling you.
Official?
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm on live TV. I'm on live TV. I'm telling you. I'm on live TV. I'm putting my character on the line. I'm telling you. You're removed and replaced. Then you telling me say it's official?
If Dillon was replaced by Abachie, it's no news.
It's not Abachie. I said general, but you're not listening.
No, but if you are replaced by Abachie, I'm not saying Abachie took on the position. Who's the head of the Senate?
What?
The last president. Who's the major presiding officer?
Listen. Marco, listen.
Okay,
Let
me say this. Let's get it straight.
If Dillon was removed from Abachie from the committee, no news.
You ask a question, right? The first thing is that Abachie and Dillon have now had a special relationship. You remember, it's the same Abachie that appointed Dillon on the Youth and Sports Committee, right? And he was appointed on that committee to intermediate between the Senate. He was appointed as the first man on that committee to intermediate. Give me a chance to intermediate between the Liberian Senate and the U.S. Embassy. he will remove and play with Jonathan Bonja-Sigbe. That's what I'm telling you. Then you, I telling me
Mr.
that
Kodak,
I was
is it
thinking, what are you
official?
talking about?
All right.
Is it
Because I
official?
talk with the
All right,
deficit.
gentlemen.
That's why
Thank
they're
you, guys.
removing.
We'll leave it right there. Gentlemen, hold on, please. Hold on. We will go to our callers. We will leave it right there. And my understanding is that Dillon is on, I think, multiple committees. That is not the only committee. So, I mean, at least if you were removed from all the committees, you might say, well, there's politics here, but it's just one committee.
No,
and
that
is giving his
committee,
reason.
no, that committee is critical. It's an
Yeah.
intermediate committee. That's the first one. That committee is very critical. That
Can
committee
you
is
guys ask this man if it is
recommended. So it's not just an ordinary committee.
Allegation without proof, and you
Thank
want
you.
to take it
I'm telling you, you don't even know it. I just tell you.
Official?
All right, gentlemen, we'll go to the callers. Dennis, do we have
Call out your
on the
name and where
line?
you calling from.
Dennis, you talking with me?
Yes, Wilton Carter, you are live. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Thank you, panelists, Anthony and Dennis.
Can you speak up a little bit?
I think, yeah, I think it is sad for my brother Jefferson to sit down and defend somebody who, on multiple circumstances or instances, he has come out and openly confessed, asking for an apology. And I don't think, when this guy went to the Senate, before he went to the Senate, how he described the people in the Senate, how he described people in government, for you to come and start making, according to Marco, misstep. Let me tell you something. When chicken white is white, they don't have no credibility. I got nothing against this brother. The first thing when I saw this brother lying on Sickness Show, that he's never beat his wife. His wife's mother is my mother. His wife's mother is my mother, and she openly admitted on internet. I mean the recording that he beat her daughter. He lied about it. I start dressing back with Dillon.
Thank you.
That's the first place. So sometimes people you gotta understand. Dillon money that he's taking from the Senate, the Liberian government paying Dillon his full salary. When he take that money and give it to a group of people that he put together, it is not in the interest of Liberian people. If they don't want to reduce the salary, you will tell the controller general of Liberia, give me only $5,000, let the rest of the money go to our revenue and it can be used at their discretion. But he's formed a committee to favor him so that when these projects are undertaken, they will be politically in his favor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Look, brother.
Thank you, Wilton. We got more callers. Let me take more callers.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Dennis.
Thank you. Gentlemen, write that down. Let's go to our next caller. 77493, your last digit. Go ahead. Sorry. 3723. Go ahead, you're live.
Hello?
Yes, your name and where you calling from?
Oh, my name is Melinson Yadro, calling from New Jersey.
Go ahead, you have 1 minute, sir.
Thank you, sir. This guy in the studio, they're trying to defend Darius Dillon, is just suffering himself. Because you cannot defend something that is not defensible. This guy told the Liberian people that he was going to change the Liberian Senate. He was going to be the light. In the United States, I don't know whether it is in the United States. In the United States where we live, when La Hazisi United States Congress allocate money to themselves in the United States national budget, that's an act of stealing that is done legally. He brought an idea, Dillon brought an idea to the Senate that they should add that money there that will go to themselves. That was not their salary. Their salary is different. So by bringing that idea to the Senate and they put 30,000 in a budget to go to themselves was criminal. It did not represent him on the issue that he campaigned on. On the issue that he campaigned on. That was criminal. You don't just fuck if the girlfriend in Montana brutalized or face or you see a woman face on the internet with bruises. He got no integrity. So you say the football is defending a man. Can you do what he did to in Liberia to the guy in America?
Thank you.
To the guy in Liberia. Can you do it in America?
Thank you, sir. We got an overseas. This looks like an overseas number. Josh Wheeler, are you calling from overseas? Then go ahead.
That's correct. I'm calling from Australia.
Okay, go ahead, Josh.
Thank you, and thank you to the panelists. Look, I just want to speak to my brother Michael. Michael, I think you
are on a complete summary this morning, even though it's in the morning here at my end. I think your justification of the senator is very cool, and it's gonna. I don't know. You are doing a death row. That's what I consider it, because if you say you want to know where the president's salary cut is going, as compared to your guy who put his people together and say, "I will give you money, and then you can give it back to me when you can." That's not credibility. So I don't know what you're trying to say. If you want a salary cut, put it back in the national corpus. Let it be used for projects.
Mr. Cora, where is we are 25%?
You give you a full salary. You tell me what you want to do with this. That is done for the Liberian people. So, Mr. Tipperson, please, I want you to, go home, and think about it, because Liberia is for every one of us, and you're a young man. I think we need to build a Liberia that will be credible for everyone to live, not for few people to use us, like we didn't go to school as well. I don't think Dillon should be using it, my man. So do something better. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me bring Anthony Gay. Anthony Gay, you're live. Go ahead.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ja, and my big brother Anthony CFO for you. I have a question. I'm a supporter of Dillon. I supported Dillon the first time, the second time, but I'm very skeptical now, and I'm getting embarrassed as to why Senator Dillon decided to go this route. However, Senator Dillon built his house before he was elected senator. I'm told the government, based on the benefit that goes to Mr. helping here. You read the budget the other day. So our lawmakers' houses are paid by the government. Dillon house was already built before he became senator. Is this government also paying Dillon house? That's question one. Question number two has to do with this new budget that just passed, I think a week or 2 weeks ago. There is $2 million in that budget for the Senate, $1 million in that budget for the House of Representatives. That's total of $3 billion. Yes, I saw Senator Dillon making the argument of mental health people. But Senator Dillon also found this budget, knowing fully well that there's $2 million also in there for the Senate. Why did he do what he did?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's take the last two callers, and then we will be closing down the phone line. Go ahead, 9537. You're live. Your name and where you calling from?
Hello, my name is Kristen Gay. I'm calling from Phoenix, Arizona.
Go ahead, Kristen.
Yeah, I just want to say to my brother Michael right there, my brother, don't hurt your head. If I was Dillon, I would just tell Dillon to resign. Dillon, I let you down big, and there is no way you are one of the kids you present yourself where you shouldn't be following behind such a person like that. If you want to follow behind him, tell him to get away from what he's doing. They don't fall into whatever trap they set, whatever they set for him, they fall into it. No, you can't tell somebody say you're a rule, they don't the same rule. If you say you're a criminal, you come. You have to teach necessary in the House of Senate. Tell them, say, hey, the 30,000 you're giving to us, what is it for? If they don't want to say, what is it for? So when I say, yeah, they don't come in with some idea, people are going to start going to a side, leaning to a side. Even your own print ticket, when you buy a cheese with VIP, the men lying on it, then the one thing, the Senate. You know how much you are taking for in the Senate? Since they don't got that, they don't give into power with $3,099. How much you got right now? You think I a personal pay? I bet you to put it on both. It's not a personal pay. They don't have taken a lot of graft. Even the printing of the Liberian money, that money that they said they wanted to print, they don't want to nobody can go and deny that President we should not print that money. After that, they don't then went behind closed door, they took money.
Thank you.
The 3,600 they receive is there. That they don't receive the money for 38 on the central bank. What it says, Senate check. It's in name. Everything is signed. And he denied that money up to now. They don't know what confirm that he took that money.
Thank you, Kristen.
That How can human being following behind?
Thank you.
What kind of man is he? You need to stop that. It's not in your process. You too young. I'm not knowing your age, but I mean,
you don't know your age.
It's not right.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's take our last caller. Caller, your name and where you calling from.
Good evening. My name is Justin, and I call you from Minnesota.
Mr. Justin Fulakoli?
Yeah.
Go ahead. You're live, sir.
Yeah. Thank you actually for showing my good friend, brother Marco, in the studio over there. Marco, you are making a very good point about Dillon, but we all understand that our lawmakers are one of the major problems for Liberia. Seriously. Margot and I, we talk that every single day. Liberian people we understand Dillon have his own share of mistakes when it comes to his recent behavior concerning money and other stuff. But Liberian people should, at least for some time, think that Dillon has brought some little changes to the Senate. Before, we never knew how much the senator was making. Before, we never knew the allowances, we never knew the gas bill, we never knew some of those corrupt things that went on in the Senate. We understand Dillon did not make any financial report to people who contributed towards his campaign. That one, I default with Marco on that. He didn't do any report. I've been following Dillon for forever and ever, amen, like Bremen will say. But here is the thing. Marco Dillon need to get himself back on track if he wants to win senatorial election again. Thank you.
Thank you. Gentlemen, just let me get one last caller. You have just 30 seconds because we are out of time. Go ahead. 6180, your name.
My name is Prince Kruma. Thank you so much for the show. It's something like, laughable sometimes when you tell somebody, who am I? At the end of the day, you start to change to be the devil that people are afraid of. But in doing so, I've been knowing that Dillon for a long time, even former President Salita, that code of conduct thinking about. I mean, I can remember one time that Dillon say that, oh, okay, if our even President Salita are going to employ all my family members in government. Is that an integrity person that we're talking about? But, for the show, it had to defend people that what they're doing that they don't know. But I just trying to tell him that we're tired with the sorry. Let other people use on the sorry too. Okay? Let's so that they don't start telling the Liberian people, say, we're sorry. We're sorry. We're feeling like in Liberia that nobody will use sorry again.
Thank you so much. All right. That was the last caller, gentlemen. Mr. Tippleton.
Yes, sir.
You got your work cut off for you.
No, as for me, it's not about the numbers of the callers. I was taking down all of the points, and I would like to start like this. Everyone knows I'm a seditious. I've come to realize that many of us seditious, we haven't got up yet, or we haven't waken up from bed from the defeat, the back-to-back defeat we received. Dillon is not a sin. Every day I talk to people about what's going on in Liberia. 103 lawmakers, and I will re-emphasize on this. I'm not going to brand the colors as seditious, but many seditious
just did.
Listen to me, please. I'm not going to brand the colors as seditious. I said I'm a seditious, and many of us, we haven't woken up yet from the back-to-back defeat. It's hurting us, but that's not the way to do it. The way to do it is to even hold CDC lawmakers accountable because there are 103 people in the House. If one man is being presented to be the most person who must be criticized and uphold public uprightness, and 102 people are allowed to go free while they are stealing. And I ask a question, where is George? We are 25% he promised. No sedition has that moral authority and reptitude. That's why they don't consider me as a regular sedition. They would never ask George where has he placed that amount. But every one of them want for Dillon to be that God from heaven. Yes, Dillon has his missteps, but Dillon is doing exceptionally well. And all we can do, if we identify one good person, let us tap on their back and say, what you are doing, we will call you to order, but we want you to continue instead of discouraging him. These people are looking for justification for the country to be bad and for the system to be rotten. If you get 100, and I will close on this point. Let me close on this point, please, from one of the quarters. He said Dillon suggested that lawmakers should take 30,000. You see how some of our people think? So if Dillon suggested that lawmakers should take 30,000 for the sake of the argument, let me play the devil's advocate. Yes, I agree, Dillon suggested it. Is that caller telling me the other 102 lawmakers, including Akaros Gray, including Sir Joseph, including Thomas Farah, and including George Weah, the president, because whatever that is in the budget, the president signs it. So George Weah agreed that while people suffering, lawmakers should take 30,000. Is that the proposal we fought for? So the people must come to think These people must come to think. It's not about politics. It's about what Dillon has brought to the Senate and what is Dillon doing. And that's the reason why from the beginning of the discussion I said, Julius Nyerere said, the only way a leader can be considered as a people-centered leader is when that leader has reason to fear the judgment of his people. Somebody said Dillon bail house. Dillon said he had $300 or $. George, we have built 49 condominium.
Thank you, Mr. Tippleton.
With 103 people, have they called to question where that money came from?
Thank you. Let me go to Abraham to respond to the callers.
I hope, because before they call us, he talked and I didn't say anything after the program. He still, so I hope I give him an opportunity to give my expose to end up. But here's the thing: what I see is, why are we not holding George responsible? Why are we not holding other lawmakers responsible? Why are we not doing this holding Dillon? Why are we not doing the holding Dillon? Why Dillon should be the angel? Why Dillon should be the saint? Why Dillon should be the God? Listen, first time in the history of our country, for every Liberian to rally around Dillon, people were going into studio giving Dillon money. Children were giving Dillon money. People having dollar rally. Dillon is the only politician in the history of our country that people rally all around the country, in the diaspora, all around the world. You know why? Because Dillon's message of change, that he would have been the light, he would have been different. That is the reason why people contributed. That is the reason why people took onto him. That is the reason why people took onto Dillon. They light. It became a household name in the country political landscape. So to be comparing, people were tired with the politicians, and they thought that a man was going to come to change it. So they took onto this man called Dillon. They quote unquote lie. So they're making excuses for Dillon that, oh, why you don't, where Joey are 25%? Oh, where the other senator 25%? Oh, where the other senator? It makes absolutely no sense. Because we criticized these people before. We criticized George Weah, Akaras Gray, and other people. And that is the reason why we took onto Dillon, because Dillon said, I'm going there to change, to make the Senate the light, to change things in the Senate. That is why we took onto Dillon, right? Dillon, listen, it's a lie that Dillon told. The lie that Dillon told, it speaks to Dillon's character. They talk about the lie. The lie that Dillon told, it speaks to Dillon's character.
I have a question for Abraham.
It's not the first time, right? The $30,000. When Dillon came to the States here, Dillon and I talked. Dillon called me, we talked. I said, Dillon, listen. Dillon said, I made a mistake. When I go back, I said the reason why the health ministry and the other people they didn't receive the money, they refused the money, is because the first thing you should not have taken the money. Listen, politicians, Liberians can support politicians. Liberians support politicians. All of us know that. Liberians do not support politicians. So a politician they get elected, they can fool us whatever way they want to fool us. But Dillon's case was different. You know why? Because when Dillon presented a case, people saw it differently. So this time, people decided to support him, support a politician in the first time in the history of that country. In the first time in the history of the country, they decided to support a politician. So when it did, the expectation is that Bobby Wine in Uganda, he refused a parliament, he refused a money in parliament to send an example as an opposition.
I have a question.
You cannot.
Yeah, thank you.
You gotta give me a chance. You gotta give me
Abraham,
a chance.
just made a final point. 10 seconds. Made a final point.
So the fact is, you cannot make excuse for a Dillon for who decided to be a fraud, who decided to lie to Liberian people, who decided to be inconsistent, who decided to be deceptive, and then doesn't want to provide report. I'm here as a donor. If the person doesn't want a report, he came here and told a story that he got on a phone. He checked for, he couldn't find it, tried to make a story for Dillon, then later on conceded and so forth. Listen, Stevenson, I'm asking, since you're going to join the process, ask Senator Dillon to make a report. It's not to me. The law demands that he make a report. The Elections Commission 2014 revised electoral law demands that every candidate makes a report to the Elections Commission to be published. He is the quote unquote law of the Senate. He said we're going to do two things differently. Then he made a report to Liberian people, to the Elections Commission, so it can be published. That is what I want.
Thank you.
That's what I want.
Mr. Tippleton, your question.
Thank you. And Abraham, I can see the enthusiasm in you. And as a Liberian, there is one thing that I acknowledge in all of our disagreement and argument, that to uphold transparency and accountability matters. And I assure you, I'm going to call on Senator Dillon to make that report public. And I'm using the medium to call on him. But this is my question. This is my question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember which one of the Liberian lawmakers communicated with the Senate when it was alleged that Eton and E. Bowman deals were bookers, corrupt, and not in the interest of the country, and that it was now going to happen? Do you remember which Liberian lawmaker wrote calling for that deal to be canceled and to be notified? Do you remember?
If I remember who did a letter to the Senate?
Yes. And today that deal is in place?
There were several calls. Dillon was not the only person who did a call.
Do you remember who make it official?
No. I'm coming. The first thing is that the basis of the question is flawed. You know why? The first, I'm coming here.
Answer the question.
The first thing is that the first person who came out with that, who broke that news, it was Henry Costa who broke that. I'm coming. Give me a chance. It was Henry Costa who broke that news, and there was a tons of writing, and Dillon and other senators feeded on that and did a letter to the Senate. So don't not make it appear that it was Dillon who made that request.
Yeah.
On first and foremost,
thank you. Finish, Michael, because the time is fast spent.
Dennis, no, I just 30 seconds.
Yeah.
When we say we are open-minded people and we come to the discourse as integrous people, we need to be honest. And if Henry Costa is not a public official, I ask you a simple question. Which Liberian official? There has been lawmakers and that deal came about when George Weah took office. It was alleged that they took envelopes to pass that deal which had no basis. They are aware there have been people who made it official and you don't want to be honest.
No.
Around the bush.
No. I told you. I said, because you want to make it appear as though it was Senator Dillon who...
It's not. Abraham, just answer the question and don't try to give his rationale for the question.
No, but the basis. No, listen.
You don't have to talk about the basis. You just answer, right?
No, Dennis. This is not a straitjacketed issue that we discuss.
No, but you are trying to.
I'm coming. We are coming now. We are all intellectuals here. This is not ABC. This is not ABC or question something we're doing here, right? It may ask a question. The basis of the question has motive. So I'm gonna deal with the motive if I can deal with the question. So it's not He's trying to conclude to make Senator Dillon look like he started the issue. It's not the basis of the question. The issue is that there were several Liberians who started the process. Henry Costa, when he started it, there were Liberians. Even Martin Colley, Abraham Dode, everybody jumped on the process. So it could make it appear like somebody went and if I didn't even know about it in the first instance.
Thank you, Mr. Dillon. It's clear. All right, yeah. Mr. Thompson, here's a question for you.
Okay.
We were talking about mistakes of Senator Dillon. Senator Dillon recently, in a way, endorsed JNB prior to the CPP or prior to their convention, their primary, and doing all that. It can be recalled that when his party was in the race 2011, he left his party and endorsed President Sirleaf, right? Now, and there are things, you talk about the mistake of the ticket. We also said that Senator Dillon was not going to take anything above 40,000, even though he knew that Geraldine Doe's car was that amount. So he made that pledge even before coming to the Senate. He took that car. Do you see a pattern of Senator Dillon going back and forth on these things?
What I see Senator Dillon's action, and let me place it in segment. Let me deal with the first question about the endorsement of Joseph Boakai.
Why you can answer yes or no?
Hold on.
Yes or no question. I'm just asking you. Are you love yes or no question? Why you can say yes or no?
You asked me is not a yes or no question.
Oh, okay, all right.
I asked you a yes or no question. He didn't.
Okay. I just want to know. I thought we're in the ABC class. Anyway, go ahead.
Stop being elementary.
All right. I'm just.
Answer my question. We have.
No, you have to.
Is it a yes or no question, Dennis? Or it's a rhetorical question?
Hold on, Abraham. Let me answer the question.
Please give me a minute, young man. I'm not choked by that question. Senator Dillon endorsing VP Boyka. I'm not going to give more emphasis to that because that is not a decision that I can say I support. I don't know the rationale behind Senator Dillon's decision to support VP Boyka, but what I do know is that Senator Dillon gave his support to VP Boyka during the 2017 presidential and legislative election or presidential elections in the runoff. And if for any reason I would have had more to say, let me say it that way. If Dillon have somersaulted to give support to another person, I was going to be one of those asking him, just 3-4 years ago, you were supporting Boyka. Why did you change? But in my mind, Dillon is consistent. I have known Dillon since 2009. Dillon is trying to tell the Liberian people that he was projecting Boyka during the runoff, and he's still projecting Boyka. I don't have a problem with that decision. Best to him and his constituents and the Liberian people, Dillon thinks that that's the best decision. If we reach that bridge where we need to give our support, we will decide. As for me, we are critically looking at what are the options we have to give support. I supported WIA. I've always supported WIA. Whether I will support him again in the next 25 months, I yet to decide that.
Thank you.
The second question. Sorry, can you just bring my mind? Do I see Dillon as what? You said something?
I mean, if you saw a pattern of flip-flopping and going here, there.
No, I don't see a pattern of flip-flopping.
Thank you.
And like I said, Dillon is consistent.
Okay.
Dillon deals with issue with principality. When Dillon gave support to Unity Party.
What? Principality?
Yeah.
Abraham, hold on.
When Dillon gave support to the UP in 2011, Dillon told everyone that he had discussed that with the late Councillor Bronskin, that the way I view the elections, Unity Party owner Ellen Johnson is presenting to the Liberian people an agenda for change and to take this country from post-war status. So let's support her.
Post-war was 2005. This was 2011.
Yes, but that's still the process. That's
all right. Thank you, Mr.
So,
Sear.
I come here. I want to learn. He said he had that discussion.
I mean, Mr. Tipperson, we are all you are a politician. Your party is running. Somebody say, "Oh no, our party." Yeah, so let us not go there to justify that.
You know, that's the beauty of democracy. My party can be running and support different person if they have a good platform.
Yeah, all right.
So probably that was what Dillon did. And like I said, Dillon told the public that he discussed it with Bronskin, that they needed to pledge support to UP. Did Bronskin refuse to follow Dillon at the end of the day? No. Bronskin supported UP in the runoff. So it means that what Dillon saw, Bronskin saw it, but it was two different times. You can see something around 3 a.m. and I see it 5 a.m. But it still means that we saw the same thing together.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Mr. Sear, we're about to close.
We are about to close, and Dennis, thank you. I think
no
for
question.
the latter part,
no question
for
for
the
me.
latter part of the discussion, I decided to be quiet, listening to these gentlemen. Some people there saying, Anthony C, you want to play host, or
I ain't got no question.
or you want to be part of the discussion. Look, I play host. But I also, like you, I am a Liberian. I always try to say looking for a glorious land of opportunity. Dennis is a Bible guy. I look at the Bible, the God Almighty says, should the Lord God Almighty will do nothing except through his servant. God talking about us. And anything he has to do to better our lives, to improve any country, it has to be done through people. The Long King, with this message, resonated with everybody. I convinced about 15% of my family members to vote for this guy.
The message is still on.
And this guy is a complete colossal disappointment. And Mr. Tipperson, you will give me a chance. I've been listening to you guys going back and forth. Prior to even attempting to run, he criticized the national legislature for taking $35,000 car. He didn't stop there. He said, if I were in their position, I would buy a used car less than $15,000. That opportunity came. Dode sounded the warning. They pleaded with him, Senator Dillon, what's his name? Vendela Patrick, those that supported him. Senator Dillon, this is an opportunity to be the difference that you preach.
Exactly.
Do not take the car like others did, when in fact, according to you, the economy is in the toilet. He ate his own words. He took that car. Then came the 6,000. He apologized for the 6,000. Then came the 20,000. So if I were to ask Michael Tippison, how many times do you want Dillon to apologize to the Liberian people before you know that he's making one mistake after the other? Simple question. How many apologies that Dillon has offered that you know of?
You know, you were speaking, you touched my heart with the way you place it. But I will also tell you this, Anthony, that we need leaders like Dillon. And like I said, we can all reach out to the fewer mistakes and missteps, but we cannot blind our eyes that Dillon is still upholding something, and that openness is still there. And again, I won't agree that riding that car was not necessary, because that was the only option. If the legislature has...
Listen to your language. Let me hold you there. That was the only option. Tippison, I know you are a smart man. That was the only option.
I know what I'm saying. If the legislature...
No, you don't know what you're saying?
No.
Taking that car was not the only option to get over Tippison. You know that. Don't baffle it.
Keke was not a good option.
Dillon has said he will buy a used car. That option was there.
When you become senator...
He knew he would become senator because he said, if I were in their position.
No, listen to me. I want to say something.
Anyway, we don't have to go back and forth. That is what I put myself for the conversation. Dennis, we have to close. Mr. Tippison will leave it there. We have to close this broadcast. We are about 1 hour and 45 minutes. Gentlemen, Sarah, we have to close it. We will get your closing statement, and we'll start with Mr. Michael Tippison.
Well, I want to say thank you to Brother Abraham Dudet. It was a fascinating conversation. I also want to say I respect the different opinions from people who have been following something that is not expected of me as a supporter of the government to say what I know that Dillon is doing as a seditious. But I want to tell them that we want the best for Liberia. And I see one man who is trying his best to do what is right, which I expected of my government. And that's the reason why, instead of condemning him or looking for justification for people to keep stealing in public office, I will recognize his mistake, acknowledge his challenge, tap his back on his good, and tell him that you have to move forward. And that's the role I'm playing. I will play this role for Dillon in as much as I'm convinced and see what he's doing in the Senate. So I respect those who utter their disappointment with me, many of whom I'm following the life as seditious also. But I want you to know, and I will close by talking to my fellow friends in the CDC, that if every one of us, beginning tomorrow morning, can start to ask Sir Joseph, Akaros Gray, Thomas Fowler, Beaufort Chambers, my former boss, and every one of them in the CDC, and tell them to be upright and uphold integrity and principles in government, we will have a prosperous country, including George Weah. And tomorrow morning, let us ask George Weah, where is his 25% that he promised the Liberian people you are going to take off his salary? It was a good discussion. I look forward to coming back at another point in time. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Tippison. Let's go to Mr. Dode.
Well, you know, Dennis and Anthony, I want to say thanks to you guys for the opportunity. It was a good conversation, all in the interest of our country. And I hope thank you again for the show. It's an opportunity that we always do. I will always come back here once it concerns the country, concern our politics and making our country better. I'll always be available. But like I said, Dillon is worse than those he criticized. He criticized other people on a number of issues. He got to the Senate. I mean, he has not lived up to the promise. He has been worse than those in the Senate. And so it pains my heart as somebody who invested into him to do the right thing, and now he decided to be on the wrong side of history, to do the same thing, to do worse than those he criticized. And it has become a pattern. He passed around the place and pretend. Dillon is one person who pretend. And watch out, in a couple of weeks or so, a few persons will be resigning from his office. Again, that's another breaking news. A few persons will be resigning from his office because the people in his office have fun. Dillon doesn't even read for 20 minutes. You wouldn't believe it. So there is a pattern of inconsistency, deception, and fraud on the part of Dillon that people took so much time to invest in him to do the right thing in the interest of the country. Again, I hope that Tepperson will tell Dillon to make the report available, to make the report public, so that you guys can have a copy, so all of us can have a copy and read. But I doubt that Dillon will ever, because those persons he took money from, if that name is not in that report, it will be a serious problem. So he has refused to make a report. Again, I'm taking the Elections Commission to court. I just want to make that clear. I'm taking it to court. I've already written a letter. Tomorrow I will send a letter to the Elections Commission. And my lawyers are on the standby to make sure that I take the Elections Commission to court. Why the people did not produce, why they're not asking these candidates to make available the report as provided by law under the revised Elections Commission law. Again, I want to say thank you for the opportunity, and I look forward to many opportunities as we prepare for 2023 moving forward. Thank you so much. It's an opportunity. It's a blessing to be here.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dude, for the closing, and thank you, Mr. Tepperson, for us, both of you, honoring our invitation to come here at Focus on Liberia. That's what we do: educate, elevate, and promote all things Liberia, and provide an opportunity for all of us to talk. In the words of Dr. H. Bama formula, our mouth not gone. So it's better for us to talk than to fight. On the 27th, Focus on Liberia celebrated 4 years of existence. We started this thing 4 years ago, and we are still going. We don't want to just have this. Next Sunday or Sunday coming, we want to have a small celebration to commemorate our 4th anniversary. We want all of you to come. We're going to use that opportunity for you to tell us how we're doing and where we need to improve. And we can also use that time to raise a little bit of money so as to keep the lights on. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to even those who are going to watch us later. And we also extended an opportunity to Mr. Darius Dillon to come and face us. We've been inviting him. It has not been possible. He can use this time to come and talk to the people about these issues that are still lingering. On behalf of all of us here at Focus on Liberia, my name is Dennis Jar, signing off with our song that always says, we are all Liberians. Because whether you support Dillon or not, whether you support Josh Weah or Boakai or Cummings or even me, that doesn't suggest that we are different people. We are all Liberians wanting the best for Liberia. On that note, we want to say good night and God bless you.
We are